Hi everyone, my name is Anne-Marie. Welcome to FabScraps card making project number 9, and today we're going to be featuring the brand new Love Story collection from FabScraps. This is such a beautiful collection. It's not just for Valentine's, it's not just for weddings. You can make it into something for all year round, and it is such a beautiful collection. Now everything I do here is I should put in a detailed list on my blog, so please be sure to check it out, where you can now also order your FabScraps fab boxes for the collections. And at present there's both of the new collections available, Love Story and Days Gone By, and you can also order the Free Spirit collection and Extravaganza as well at the moment, so please be sure to have a look. Delivered worldwide, door to door, inclusive of shipping, and it's just such a great price. Now today's project is a little bit different. I'm going to show you the card that we're actually making. I want to show you the end result first, because it's very difficult to show you it flat as we do the eyes down videos. So the card we're actually creating is this, and it's got a gorgeous dangle heart in the middle, and that's the bit I find very difficult to show you in a flat eyes down. But you can see the dangling heart, and it's beautiful. It's a great idea to use with your Love Story collection. You can see more photos on my blog, so please check that out. You can always contact me directly through my blog if you've got any questions. You can contact me on Facebook, and you can comment on YouTube. So sit back, relax, and let's have a look at our FabScraps card making project today. The first thing that we're going to need for our gorgeous Love Story card is the base card. Now this is an 8x8 size card, and for my friends across the pond, I know they're difficult to get hold of, but persevere for this one because it works this size, and I think it'll make it stand out from the rest of the cards. If you can't get that size, scale everything down, and then you'd be able to maybe use a 6x6. So what I've done is I've used a scalloped heart die. Now this is just a set of nesting dies that I have. They're unbranded, and I've used the dies for this project. I've made an aperture through the centre of our card, and we're going to just do the inside first, but I wanted to sort of explain about the aperture. We will come back to that. Now the inside of the card is really simple. In the Love Story collection you actually get 2 stencils, and this is the first of the 2, DS111 for anybody who wants the numbers, because Love Story is C116, and which is now available to purchase worldwide. I've got to add that bit. So this is the stencil, and I've simply opened the packet and placed it onto my paper, and then using a distress ink I've just stenciled away. I haven't done anything special. I haven't used any kind of different technique. I've simply laid the stencil down and very quickly inked it using I can't remember the name of the ink, but it's just a pale pink. I've then taken a stamp from my stash and I've stamped around the edge just for you. Now the Love Story collection could be used for Valentine, for wedding, for birthday. I think it's very versatile. You look at it and you automatically think Valentine, but then when you start looking a little bit further into it, then you start seeing all the different things that you can do. So I've stamped around the edge 4 times with a stamp that says just for you, and I've got flat tape on the back of it. This is just plain ivory cardstock cut just slightly smaller than our base card, and I'm just simply positioning the insert into the card like so. Now I don't want to be wasteful, so the actual heart that I've cut out of this, I still have. I've got flat tape on the back of it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, where the aperture is, I'm going to line the card up, and I'm going to put the heart back into the aperture, press down and then open the card. And there we have somewhere nice to write a little message. And how cool is that? That looks really great, I think. And a nice way of not wasting anything. So now we can turn our attention to the front of the card. And I'm going to use my bone folder because I forgot to use it just as we started then. I got carried away. So we make sure that crease is nice and sharp. I'm going to put this to one side first because we've got something else to do before we make the front of this. From the Love Story collection, for this card I've used the majority of the 8x8 sheets and not used any of the pattern sheets until we get to, well, I've used one sheet, it's the Sweetest Hearts paper it's called on it. But we're going to make a 3D heart for the centre. I've cut out 6 hearts, just again from a nesting die, literally a couple of inches in size. I've folded all of them in half and I've scored them to make sure I've got a nice sharp score. On one of them I've got a tiny piece of cotton at the top, and again I've folded that in half, and on the back of them I have got double-sided tape. Now I think this works better when you use wet glue, but we haven't got time to wait. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the next one onto the top of the previous one. So I'm hoping you can see this. And I'm just going to match it edge to edge and press it down. Then I'm going to take another one. So these are all in different colours. And again, I'm going to go edge to edge with the pattern of the scallop and match it up. Then I'm going to go with a different colour. Go with this one. Edge to edge. And there we go. Now it's not going to be perfect because I'm doing it in mid-air. So next one. Edge to edge of the scallop. There we go. Then the last one, we're going to add edge to edge with the scallop of the heart, and then we're going to bring the other side round and press that together like so, and we've made a heart, well, dangly ornament that will fall flat when it goes for postage. So now we have this, we can make our card. But I wanted to see you to see that because it's going to be a good part of our card. So the front of our card, I've taken one of the 8x8 papers, and very naughtily I've just realised I've not taken the back of my 3D foam away. Now you know me, I'm always prepared, and in this instance I'm not. This paper is one of the 8x8 papers from the Love Story collection, and it is so pretty. They're all double-sided and they simply just work. They work well die cutting, inking, heat embossing, anything you want to do with these papers, try it. They work with mixed media, they will go with embossing folders. This sheet that I'm going to show you now, hopefully I've got them all taken away, there we go. I've die cut the actual heart through the centre in exactly the same place that I've cut for the actual card, and then I've actually stamped at the bottom using a stamp saying hugs and kisses. So this would work for birthdays as well as any kind of anniversary card. So I'm matching the pattern up. You've just seen me put some glue towards the centre, only because it means I can manipulate it when I put it down. Now the corners, what I've done for the corners, I've simply scored into the centre all 4 corners, and then I've inked where I've actually folded the paper. So that way it makes it look more of a shadow frame, and it just gives it a little bit more interest. And the 3D foam that's in the corners lifts the corners up, whereas the centre, you've just seen me put glue on the centre is flat. So when you see it in life, it kind of looks more of like a frame type of thing. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to add our little 3D heart. Now if you remember, we started with this side because we had the thread on it. Now I need to add some tape to hold that in place because we want it to dangle in the aperture. So I'm just going to position the tape where, the thread where I think it's going to go, and add the tape over the top like so to hold it down. That's going to be covered, so it doesn't matter. We can put any amount of tape on there, and I'm going to add some more to hold it in place. So I can go the opposite direction. I can peel the first section of tape away and then just add a little bit more going downwards, just to double ensure that the thread, there we go, the thread is right. Now just while we're working on the card, I'm just going to keep it a little bit flat. So the first thing after doing that, I've die cut 6 hearts, and the 6 hearts that are die cut from the Love Story and just simply from the 8x8 papers. And I'm going to position the hearts around the outside of the heart itself, and I'm just making sure that I get the pattern every other one, shall we say, like that, and the 5th one and that one there, roughly the same at both sides. Then I've die cut a large heart. This is the largest from the set. Again, this is one of the 8x8 papers from the Love Story collection. And then I've die cut the same aperture in the centre that's in the centre of the card. On the back I've got 3D foam, and this is going to just simply sit over our aperture that we've already cut, and it allows us to hide the tape for the actual hanging ornament. And we just need to position it so it's scallop over scallop. There we go, like that. I've inked the edge with a gold ink pad, and I've just used gold embossing powder for the large heart. I've now cut 6 smaller hearts that I can add around the side on top of the larger ones that we had. And again, these are just from the 8x8 paper. They're just so pretty. I've got them on 3D foam, and I've just slightly inked on the edges, and we'll go that way so the patterns isn't the same on the heart. and I'm just popping them on the top of the previous heart. There we go. And then for the top of the card, I've die cut another heart, and again this is from the 8x8 papers, and I'm just going to place it over the centre so it covers that little bit of tape that hides that hangs the hanging ornament. Compress that down. I've die cut a paper bow, and I've got flat tape on the back of that, and that's going to go through the centre of that heart above the ornament, and then a tiny little heart just for the middle. And that is our card finished. Now I know it's very difficult for you to see our hanging ornament because of well, because we're on film, and it's just, you're gonna have to trust me, it looks great and it dangles. I was so nervous about doing this in case that I couldn't get it to dangle or look right, and it does. It looks great, it really does. The mix of the papers, the mix of the die cuts and everything just work so well, and the inside matches perfectly, and we've got that gorgeous aperture with a scalloped heart. You'll see better, I think, on the photos for how that looks, because you'll see how that dangles in the middle. It will fold flat for posting, so that's not a problem. If you wanted to make it smaller, you know how we touched on the size, it would still work, so you would just make everything a little bit smaller in size. But what a great card. Ideal, as I say, for birthdays, not just Valentine's Day or anniversaries. So you can tone it to go with whatever occasion you need it to go to, really. I do like the Love Story collection from FabScraps. Well, I like all the collections, so I can't sort of say, you know, I like one over the other. But so versatile, the papers ink so well, they die cut well, they take the heat embossing and dry embossing. Please check the blog for lots more photos for this project. I'll try and get it from all the different angles so that you can see the hanging decoration. And, you know, give me the thumbs up. Check out the other projects. There's a FabScraps project every Wednesday now, so, you know, next week we'll be looking at Days Gone By. Check out the other collections available, and I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next time.